Guess what we're making? I'm so excited to get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Seasonal Storm. My name is Jess. It is about 7 o'clock in the morning here in Nevada. I don't know if you can hear the cows being super noisy, but because of how hot it is with this August heat, I figured we're gonna get started on today's fall craft outside early as heck, and we're gonna continue working on this Deco Mesh Scarecrow wreath. I'm going to show you the inspiration picture, and then we're going to go back in time real quick and I'll show you how we got started. I'll see you in just a second. Giving credit where credit is due, I get a lot of my inspiration not only from creators here on YouTube, but also from Pinterest. And if you guys are interested in following my Pinterest page, I can absolutely link it in future videos. Just let me know in the comments below. So to get started, I found these two Scarecrow denim mesh plaid creations, and I thought these were so cute and just screamed rustic and fall. So the first thing I did was I took an 18-inch Dollar Tree wire base, and I took an entire roll of the navy and white buffalo check, or navy and cream buffalo check Deco mesh, and I used some zip ties, which I would later sub out for burlap or twine. And then I also used half a roll of burlap ribbon, and as you can see, I'm just kind of, weaving and twisting to create a nice big bubble effect. So I'm essentially using a roll and a half of product to create our base. And then you're going to see me tying some burlap off, cutting my zip ties, and removing those before we get ready to go on to the next step. Okay, so as you can see, I have it up here on the wall, and from a distance you can't really see the frame, but I can see it up close. So instead of making a big backing for this one, we're going to go ahead and make some really big bundles of ribbon, and we're going to try to incorporate some more of our yellows and maybe a touch of orange into our fall colors for our ribbon bundles. So I have a variety of ribbon options and some Deco Mesh options. For the Deco Mesh, I'm going to continue working with this yellow splatter mesh from the Dollar Tree, and I love this color. I think it's going to go really beautifully with this blue, but I will say we need to bring in some more colors as well. And even though I do have this black and white buffalo check, which I might use that as well, I think I'm going to go ahead and bring a touch of turquoise in, because if you can see against the dark blue of the Deco Mesh, this little pop of turquoise adds something, especially with that yellow. It's going to be very trendy for sure. Might not be for everyone. And I'm going to just try to use a really wide range of materials. So the other color I'm going to try to use is a different version of a plaid, which is this kind of rusty plaid. They had this ribbon out last year, and if you look at the colors that we're going to try to blend it to with our sign, this rusty plaid goes really well with all the above. So we're going to cut this all into about 10 to 12 inch strips, maybe a little shorter. I'm going to just go by eye. I'm not going to measure it out. And we're going to make a bunch of little ribbon bundles. So I'll see you in a second. So as you can see, I'm cutting anywhere from 10 to 12 inch strips of each section of mesh and ribbon. And then I'm layering a little bit of that raffia from the grass skirt that we cut up in a previous video. And I'm adding that to my little ribbon bundles, and you can see that even just with a few bundles, it really starts to fill in. This is a great hack or tactic if you're trying to conserve materials, or if you're trying to make a large number of the same product. So this is with the color combination 1. The second color combo, I take this turquoise and I add some of the Thanksgiving ribbon for some, and then I add more of that plaid for others. Okay, so our wreath is looking a lot fuller now that we've added these little ribbon bundles. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to make a little sign to tuck in using one of these sign pieces. So these signs are the 3 little board signs, and I'm only going to be using one for this one. It's Home Sweet Home, but this one with the pumpkins I'm actually going to use for a different wreath. So I'm just going to take this home with the sunflowers off. And as you can see, it's just stapled to the back, and it's just a thin piece of ribbon. So all you have to do is you can pretty much just tear it off, staples and all. Sometimes the staples do have a hard time coming off, so you might need to grab a pair of needle nose or something to help you pull those out. But now you have 2 more signs to work with for another project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pipe cleaner, and I'm going to hot glue the pipe cleaner to the back, or some twine like I've been doing with the rest of it. I'll probably use twine for this one, but I'm gonna hot glue that pipe cleaner to the back, and then we'll take a little bit of a ribbon scrap and cover the top of it. And I like to call these just garland hangers. I like to tuck these into a lot of garlands too. So I'll come back and we'll do that. Now, while I have done this previously for videos, I'm gonna show you guys, I went and grabbed one of these, and I saved these from all sorts of things. This one I'm pretty sure is something that held some lights together when I bought some lights. So I'm gonna lay that in the middle, and we want it to be laying so that we're setting our sign up, like standing up. And I'm going to take 2 fabric scraps and just lay them over the top, and that'll help hold our tie on. So I'm gonna take my hot glue and just kind of at random throw some on there. Made kind of a mess, that's okay. And that's just going to help anchor this so it doesn't move and give it a little bit of added stability. And see, simple as that. Now it is ready to get tied on to our sign once it dries. Now while I'm waiting for our little sign to dry, I have a few little spots throughout that I feel like could use some extra ribbon or some extra bulk. So I'm going to take a few of our colors again and just make some small curls, and for some of those I'm going to tuck some of our burlap sunflowers into as well and make a different type of a little garland tie. And really you don't need a lot of ribbon for this. You can honestly take maybe 6 inches and just make a quick cut. Some people might want to go even a little bigger, and you're just going to be tucking these into these little gap openings, and this is just going to be giving it kind of a little backer for your sunflower to sit on. So like I took this plaid, and I'm going to take a touch of this Give Thanks Harvest as well. Let's do the same size. We'll make one just to test if we like it. And I guess I will dovetail the ends on both of these. And if you don't know how to dovetail, fold your ribbons in half and cut downwards towards the opening to make kind of a little V shape. These scissors are super dull. I recommend using really sharp scissors when you're cutting ribbon, but I don't know where any of my nice scissors have gone, so I will have to find those later. But you get 2 little like dovetails like this, right? And kind of just do a little crossover, and then you're going to do a little bundle like that. So I'm going to also take a little bit of the raffia and just continue to add that. And if you guys didn't know, my raffia is actually from a hula skirt from the summer collection, and I'm going to double over my raffia. So I'm going to make kind of a little bundle like that and plop it right on top of my 2 little ribbons. And again, we're making these much smaller than our big ribbon curls. And then I'm going to take some of my burlap twine. So it's just some of my twine. And I'm just going to tie a really simple knot. Now I know a lot of people like to use pipe cleaners or even zip ties. And while I don't mind doing that, for the appearance of this wreath, I feel like this burlap just adds to kind of the rustic quality of it. Makes it really... We're interrupting this broadcast to show you guys my neighbors. These are some of the horses that have survived this summer's drought cycle on their way to grab some water. So say hello, everyone. Okay, so we're back now, and I made this little tiny bundle, and I'm just gonna fluff this out by pulling the ribbons up and apart. So kind of twist and spread where you can. And there's no real right way to do this. We're just adding a little extra something. And I'm going to go ahead and tie this in where I don't have this little harvest style, just for a little extra something. So I've tied this guy in. And I'm not doing anything pretty on the back. I'm just making a knot. I'll go through and cut all my strings once this is done. But as you can see, where there was maybe a little bit of a gap before, now there's a little something there to help fill that gap and add a little something added. So we're going to keep putting in little bundles just like that throughout the wreath. So as you can see, we've added our little sign tucked in right here. I've added a bundle to help anchor our scarecrow and a few other little bundles. But I think for the last few, we're going to do this turquoise and a little bit more of the buffalo check. And I think that's gonna be it. So I'm gonna make those bundles and we'll be right back. Okay, so instead of doing what I went and cut up some old blue jeans. So I have some denim, the turquoise behind it, and then this little touch of the farm and family ribbon. And I'm gonna go ahead and just find any openings, any gaps that need it, and I'm gonna tie it in. Now, I know not everyone is going to have extra blue jeans laying around that they can cut up. So I just like to say Hobby Lobby actually makes a really nice denim ribbon that they have year round. And it's normally the 30 feet for about $10. And it does go 50% off pretty regularly in their fabric section. So if you're interested, that actually might work a little bit better because it is wired, unlike this, which is literally just cut up blue jeans. The other thing is that what you can't see is that I'm still tying these all on with a touch of burlap, but for these ones, I'm trying to bring the bow to the front. So the last thing I'm gonna do for this wreath is I'm gonna hot glue some sunflowers into it. So I'm just taking a sunflower burlap pick from the Dollar Tree, putting a little bit of glue on, and then I'm kind of just eyeballing. So kind of knew I want one up here for sure. So hopefully we've got some ribbon behind it that it's adhering to. We've got one there. And here is the close-up of our finished product. Now, as you can see, I added some of the neutral or beigey burlap sunflowers as well. But this thing is jam-packed with lots of different textures and a few different colors, but it definitely brings in the trendy turquoises and blues of this fall and harvest season and mixes them with the more traditional colors. This is a great DIY idea or a great wreath to seek out if you are someone who wants to try some trendy colors but isn't wanting to give up your fall colors either. This would be a great little pop of color to place amidst all of your other fall garlands. I'll also go ahead and say that this wreath would be a great late summer, early fall transition and actually would bode really beautifully even carrying through fall into Thanksgiving. I did use a little under $10 in product to DIY this project with, and this particular wreath will be going up for sale at Circle S Western Market, available on August 14th. And I will go ahead and say that I will likely be doubling the price of materials in order to compensate for time as well in the final sale price. Thanks for watching.